So Mr. Pruitt, he came to us from a short-term acute care hospital. A little over a year ago, I believe October 2018, he was diagnosed with ALS. Shortly after the diagnosis, he was also diagnosed with throat cancer, which had to be taken care of immediately. So he had a lot of things going on. Once he got to the hospital, they decided that they needed to do a trach placement for him and to put him on the ventilator just to make sure that he's breathing properly. After he's been on the ventilator, he had some complications, and after having those complications, it was best for Mr. Pruitt to come to Kindred to let us help rectify everything and really help him get on the road to recovery.
Following the CDC guidelines and working with corporate and making the decision with our senior leadership team and as CCO, the decisions were all agreed upon that the safety for the patients and the staff was to stop visitation. And it was very difficult because we had made such a commitment. She would bring items and be able to look through the window, but she could not visit.
As Craig started working with us here in therapy with physical and occupational therapy, he had good mobility. He was just very fatigued very quickly. We asked Mr. Pruitt what he thought about trying out the EKSO, and at first he was he was hesitant, just not knowing much about it. So we tried to explain, what it was going to do for him, what we were going to be able to do with it, and how it's more just that extra little boost that he's going to need to be able to do stuff. And so he agreed. And that first day, I believe we took 10 steps.
That was really, really touching because he's been in bed for so long. I think it's a really, really good option for people that need that help.
As we used the EKSO and we progressed it further and further with him walking in it, not only are we trying to progress him, physically with his overall functional mobility, but we're trying to progress him to where he can wean off the vent. And I strongly believe that gaining that confidence with the EKSO and showing these things that he can do on his own, we've reached a next level to where I believe he has that confidence to start weaning off of the vent and try to really, regain what he's lost with that vent. Getting to see Craig, walk in the hallway and getting him to see his wife for the first time, walking, and just the confidence that he was just expressing and like the happiness.
When his wife, Marie, and their other family members, they came and they saw him, they had to look through the window at the time, and the second that Marie saw Craig walking out, it was just a very emotional experience for everybody. It was, I think, seeing him as happy as what he was and as lively as what he was.
And you could just see with him looking at his wife and looking at each other, like they were just, just that pure joy, and just, all the craziness with the pandemic and not being able to see each other every day, and, just all of that kind of went away for a few minutes.
I believe that we gave such a gift of hope to this family and to the staff. In the middle of all of the anxiety and anguish and learning that we're going through with COVID, this family was given an absolute miracle. Amazing gift for the staff that day too.
It's a moment that I won't ever forget, and it's a moment that will really help me, to strive to, with our next patient to try to get that.